creations. If you're new to my channel and you're stopping by for the first time, thank you for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. Stick around a while by clicking that red button for more crafting on a budget, more everything on a budget videos to come. And if you click it again when the bell appears, YouTube should notify you every time I upload a new video, depending on the option that you choose in the drop-down menu of the bell. If you're interested in following me on social media, you can find those links in the description box below. What have I got going on for you for today? Today's DIY is using these fabric placemats. Now, these aren't a super old item. These are actually pretty new. I picked these up about 3 weeks ago because I had a DIY in mind using them. Not the DIY that I'm bringing to you today, but it was a DIY that I still needed to do some preparing for. I still needed to buy some items for, and I never really got around to doing it. And so when I was looking at these, I came up with an idea that I'm pretty excited about. It's a very budget-friendly idea, and I love the outcome. Today's DIY is not only using this placemat, but I will be using my Cricut, and I will be using a heat transfer vinyl along with it. And so I can't wait to show you what I do with these fabric placemats, and I will tell you now, I am not using it as a placemat and just adding vinyl onto it. Oh no, I've got a super cute DIY in store for you for today. So let me quit my gabbing and let's get into this crafting from my stash DIY using these placemats that you can get from the Dollar Tree when this is all over. Alrighty, getting started. Since today's DIY is a Dollar Tree and a Cricut one all in one, I thought I'd give you a quick rundown of Cricut Design Space. When you open it up, you're gonna come to a page that looks like this, and you're gonna see a tab over here with a plus that says New Project. You're gonna wanna click on it. Once you click on it, it's gonna bring you to your Design Space mat here. Over here on the side, you're gonna see Images. When you click on this, it's gonna bring you to all of the images that you have access to if you subscribe to Cricut Design Space Access. It's $9.99 a month, and it gives me unlimited access to lots of images and fonts. Because I'm doing a farmhouse DIY, I wanted to look up a farmhouse image. And so I am liking a couple of these. The ones that I like, I just click on them and then click Insert into my mat, into my design space. You see that they're layered here. You can very easily click and drag them apart to separate them, and just by clicking on the image itself, you can make it as big or as little as you want. Now keep in mind, when you are doing this, your mat size is 12 inches wide, whether you're using the 24-inch long mat or the 12 by 12. That's kind of not really relevant, but because mine are 12 by 12, I went ahead and I made my image about 10.5 inches by 9. Now you'll see here on the side when you click continue that you've got a mat size here. You want to make sure your mat size is accurate to what you're using, either the 12 by 12 or the 12 by 24. Now, because we are working with a heat vinyl, you'll need to click this tab here that says mirror. This is going to mirror image the image or the writing that you've inserted into your canvas, because the way you are going to transfer it onto your fabric, it needs to be mirrored. So when you're doing it, it's gonna look backwards, but when you apply it, it will look the correct way. Then you can go down to the bottom here, click continue, and it's gonna tell you to go ahead and set your material. Because I'm using a vinyl today, I'm gonna click vinyl. Today I'll be using a heat transfer vinyl, and this is one that I got on Amazon. Link to this is in the description box below. I buy it off of Amazon because you get a bigger roll for your money. You'll see when you look at your heat vinyl that you've got a matted side and you've got a shiny side. When placing your heat vinyl down on your cutting mat, you want the shiny side down and you want the matte side up. So because my image is about a 12 by 12, that's the size vinyl that I cut. Now it's time to load. You'll see on your Cricut, you've got the arrow that's blinking. Go ahead and place your mat in the Cricut, press load, it'll load, then the C will blink, which is the start. Then you'll go ahead and press start and your image will start cutting on your vinyl. And just to touch on the stand that my Cricut is on, because I know I'll probably get some questions about this. This is a stand that I found at Michael's right before the stay-at-home order went into place, and it was, I want to say, $50, and I just thought that it was the most convenient thing ever because I keep my Cricut in a cabinet, and as often as I use it, I have to take it out and set it up. Trying to find a spot for it is always a hassle, and so this here is amazing. It's got the drawers, it's got everything, and I don't have to put my Cricut away. I can just roll this into a closet and I am good to go. Once the image is cut out of the vinyl, you're gonna need to do what's called weeding. Weeding is removing the excess vinyl from your cut image, and to do that, I'm gonna be using my Cricut Bright Pad. This is a cool tool. It's not something you have to have, but I found because I work with vinyl so much, it makes it a lot easier to see where the excess vinyl is that I need to remove. So using this piercing tool is what Dollar Tree calls it. Dollar Tree has these piercing tools. It's a scoring and piercing blade. I'm gonna use the piercing end of it to gently remove the excess vinyl. The Bright Pad kind of lights it up so you can really see where the lines are that the Cricut cut, and so it really does make it easier. If you don't have one of these pads, you can very easily do this. Just do it in a very bright lit area, and you're gonna wanna make sure and use some kind of a cutting mat underneath your piece, because when you pierce, it tends to go all the way through from time to time. Now moving on to my favorite part, which is putting this project together. Like I said, I'll be using this fabric placemat that I got from the Dollar Tree. I've seen these in several different colors, but because I'm going for that farmhouse feel, I wanted to go with the cream and the tan. I'm gonna be putting my heat transfer vinyl on the back side of this just because I like the backside color a lot more. I feel like I can make it more of a rustic country feel by putting it on this side versus the cream and gold side. It really is just all preference. Once you've got your vinyl into place, you're just gonna take an iron and you're gonna lightly go over it on the highest heat setting that you can get it on, minus the steam. Once you've gone over it about a minute or so, you can go ahead and peel that plastic up, and your vinyl is permanently adhered to the surface that you ironed it onto. Now, I'm gonna make this a pillow. If you wanna make this just a placemat the way it is and leave it, you totally can. But because I'm looking for some farmhouse throw pillows to put on my couches, I figured that I could do that by these because it is a double fabric, and so I knew that just by cutting off one side it would open this up and allow me to stuff this. Now I somehow lost the footage of stuffing this one, so I'm actually showing you a different placemat that I stuffed using fabric, and I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes how I cut the fabric. But yes, I am using a very old pillow of mine that I was going to throw away. And I figured, why am I going to throw it away when I can use the cotton filling for these pillows that I'm actually making for you? And when I tell you this pillow is old, I am not joking. It is old. It was one of Ray's, and when he moved out, I was going to throw it away. But like I said, I decided to keep it and utilize it for the filling in it. When filling these placemats, you want to be sure and not overfill them because we need to close this one edge up, and so I'm not going to fill mine super full, just enough to make it look like a pillow. Now, taking this gingham fabric that I used a lot during Christmas time, I think I bought 3 yards of this, and so I still have a fair amount of this fabric left that I'll be using in some upcoming DIYs as well. I'm going to show you real quick, for those of you who want to know how to cut fabric with your Cricut, how to do that. I've cut a piece of fabric that is the size of the image, I guess, that I'm gonna cut out, and using a heat and bond roll. This is a roll that you can get at just about any fabric store. You can get it at Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Joann's. I'm gonna take and cut a piece of this heat and bond, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, a little smaller than the size of my fabric. So you can see here that it's not going beyond the edges of my fabric. I'm gonna place the paper side up on the back side of my fabric, which is the shiny side of the heat bond, down onto the back side of the fabric. Boy, like I've done before, I just made that way more confusing than it needed to be. I'm gonna iron this onto my fabric. Again, not using the steam setting. You want a real dry heat for this. Once you've completely ironed down your heat bond, you will see that the paper very easily peels right up off the back of your fabric. And you are left with a shiny side on the back of your fabric. Now to cut this, you're just gonna take your cutting mat. I don't have a fabric cutting mat on hand right now, so I'm just gonna use my lightweight one, which will work fine. I'm gonna place this with the heat bond side down, which is your fabric side up. And I'm just gonna go ahead and load this into my Cricut. I'm gonna make sure to put it on the fabric setting. If you have a rotary cutter, you'll use your rotary cutter. If you don't, you're gonna just really make sure to put your cutting setting on the fabric so it can go over it however many times that it needs to. And just as easy as that, we've cut an image out of fabric. How fun is that? I just love using fabric too, because I feel like it just adds sometimes more of a country farmhouse touch feel than using just a solid vinyl, and it really is easy to do. You can cut fabric using any of your Cricuts. You just need to use the process that I used today. Once you've taken it up off of the mat, you just place your image on whatever fabric surface it is that you're gonna apply it to, and again, using your iron, not on the steam setting, you're just going to iron over your fabric and it's going to adhere onto, in this case, my placemat. You just wanna be sure that if you're using a placemat that has like a satin finish like this one, that you do lower your heat setting just a bit, or even maybe put a wax paper or a parchment paper over it so it doesn't melt your fabric. Now switching gears a bit, taking a heat and bond hem adhesive. If you want to use a sewing machine, you very well can. I don't feel like pulling mine out, and I feel like this is so much quicker and easier to use. I'm gonna cut a strip that I'm gonna sandwich in between the two pieces of my placemat, closing up my placemat, again using my iron. And would you look at that? We just made a throw pillow using one of Dollar Tree's placemats. How fun is that? But wait a minute, we're not done, because my edges look unfinished and I am not happy with that. So to finish off my edges, again, I will be using this gingham fabric that I had, and I'm gonna cut a few 1.5 inch strips. Now, this is a no-sew project. If you, again, wanna use your sewing machine because it's out and it's accessible, you can. Don't worry about your edges being evenly cut, because we're gonna take these edges and we're gonna fold them in and iron them. Give them a nice clean crease, which is gonna give us a nice clean edge. And we're gonna do this on both sides of these strips. Once you've got both sides of the strips ironed in, we're gonna take this strip and again, we're gonna fold it in half and iron it. This is gonna give us a binding strip, which is super easy to do. It doesn't take much time. There's no measuring. There's nothing special involved in this. To attach this binding to the pillow, I will be using the Heat and Bond hem strip tape stuff, and I'm gonna just place it on both sides and again, iron it onto the edges of my pillow, giving me a nice, clean, finished look on the edges. And I feel like it's adding just a touch of something, giving it a little bit more character by finishing it off. I love it. This is super easy to do, and it's a nice budget-friendly project, and it's an easy way to add some fun throw pillows to your couches, to your bed on a budget. I gotta say, I really like the outcome of these pillows. I think that they're fun, they're budget friendly, they were easy to do, and it was something definitely that kept me occupied. I think the only thing that I would do different is I would change the batting, because the batting that I used from the pillow that I had that was extra, I think it shows through just a bit more, and so I think that I would use a fuller, softer batting. But hey, I was working with what I had and they still came out really cute, and I'm happy with them. I hope you all enjoyed today's farmhouse pillows made from Dollar Tree's placemats. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and let's get this video to, you guessed it, 5,000 likes please, because each and every one of your thumbs up and those comments that you do leave down below, they really do help my channel to grow, and it helps YouTube to notice me just a bit more. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy crafting on a budget, and bye for now. Happy crafting from your stash. Bye for now, everybody.